Welcome, my name is Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist here at Fillins & Porter. In this Quilting Quickly tutorial, I'm going to show you how to put together the pieces in the quilt called Changing Places. If you'd like to purchase this pattern, please visit our website. We're going to be using 10-inch squares, pre-cut. These are kind of reproductions, but you could use any collection of 10-inch squares. You need some darks and you need lights so you get the contrast, and then you get that wonderful woven interchanging pieces kind of look in your quilt top. So I'm going to slide these out of the way here, and I've got a block already constructed here on the sewing center, and you can see that we have these inset little curved pieces, and that each one of those curves has a different print because it borrows from the block next to it. And so this is one of those things where you're going to want to plan as you go and have probably a design wall or some place where you can lay your blocks out, because as you work along, this would then be part of the next block, the light background of the large piece here. So we're going to use a Fillins & Porter template called Peter and Paul to help us cut our pieces. And at the very beginning though, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take those 10-inch squares. Each of the lights and darks has the same process to it. And you're going to be cutting first an 8-inch square out of each of those blocks. And as you cut it, you want to make sure you don't cut through. You just want to cut that square out because the remainder of that fabric then is used for those little fill-in pieces. So I've got this lined up. I'll line it with the 8-inch. So this is an 8-inch wide ruler, and so the 8 here, come down and make sure I'm nice and square. So when I cut one direction, but not all the way through the block, and this piece. So we want to reserve that square or L shape. We'll set these aside for now. I'm going to show you how then we're going to be cutting from this piece. They are the fill-in. And the template set has 2 small pieces. It's called Peter and Paul. The fill-in template is the gray, and it's marked so you'll know which one's which. The red is the takeaway. This we'll use later. We're going to use this one first. We need to cut from each of these L-shaped remaining pieces of fabric, we need to cut 4 fill-in shapes that go around the outside. So we lay this on the outer edge of our fabric, lining up the straight edge with the straight edge of the fabric. And we're using a small rotary cutter, make it easier to stay right up next to the template around like this. And the templates work really great if you put just a little bit of either a sandpaper kind of pad or a rubbery pad on the bottom, so it stays on the fabric and doesn't slide off as you're cutting. So you just work your way along, cutting 2 from this side, and then you'll cut 2 along this side. So you'll be able to get all 4 pieces and waste very little fabric. So once you have those cut, then you need to address the center portion, the large part. Now if we've got fill-ins to go here, we have to have taken something away from the large portion. So with that, you can quickly just fold and find kind of the center of each side of the block. The template has a little notch there so that you can then line up your fold with that little notch. Lay it along the straight outside edge of your block. Now the templates are very small, so this is a good spot where the safety glove really comes in handy to make sure you don't nick your fingers. And make sure you have a nice sharp rotary blade like that. See why getting so close to your hand, the glove is really important. And see how great the little grippers on the back there hold on to the fabric, so you can do that. And do the same process all the way around by folding, just finding the center. You could also use a ruler and put a little notch there because you're taking that piece away. That's going to be a scrap. So if you made a little ink mark or a washable fabric marking pen from your sewing room, that will work perfectly. But you want to work your way all the way around, cutting out 4 of the takeaway template shape off of that. And I have one already completed. So here's what we have. There we go. And you're going to be then laying out your quilt. Once you have all these pieces cut, what you want to do is keep pieces together in light color until you've arranged them, and then you'll see what I mean. I'm going to show you on the quilt. At the design wall, you would lay out these center pieces. Then you want to find its corresponding fill-ins, because they go out from its center into the next block. So that's why a design wall comes in really handy, so that you can plot and plan each row or each block as you go. So if I were to start over here, I would lay out these two blocks side by side, realizing that they need to swap their fill-ins, then go to the next block. They flip-flop the fill-in pieces, and you'd work your way along each row as you go. So it takes a little bit of time, but a wonderful process. Now, how do we get those fill-in pieces into that center curve, or those small curves? And I'll step you through that process. If you've done curve piecing, it's the same process. These are short, small pieces, so they're fairly easily put together. Again, a simple fold to find the center of the curve, both on the large piece and the fill-in shape. So quick press, then we match those fabrics up right at the center piece. We're going to put just a little pin, just a little tiny bite into the fabric there, right at about the seam allowance. We don't want to take a big bite. We want that to be able to be kind of, let it swing back and forth. And the reason why I put my pin in from this side is that I want to have this smile shape on the top. So I'm going to then go to each end. I'm going to pin each end, hold it in place, and remember what edges you're going to be matching up here is the curves. So you're going to have this extended triangle because you're going to come 1/4 inch from the cut edge here over, and you're going to be starting your seam going in right here. So take a bite into the fabrics to kind of hold everything in place. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, it's quilting quickly because you have all the fabric selection coordinated and ready to go, easy to get into the cutting. The sewing is a little bit more about the experience. So then we're going to take this to the sewing machine and lay it down. We're going to work our way slowly along the curve. So I put it under the machine, set for an accurate 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you're going to want to sit down and just do a little bit of manipulation of your fabrics, making sure that those cut edges are aligned one on top of the other. Take just a few bites into the fabric. Don't run over your pin. Then you can pull it out. And then you can progress along that curve, going kind of slowly. As you get more confident, you'll be probably going a lot faster, but depending on how accurate you want those curves to be, you're going to take your time. The templates were engineered so that the pieces will fit right over the top of each other at the seam allowance. So if you just take your time, remember to breathe, and keep those cut edges aligned. And one more manipulation here. Sometimes you need to lift the presser foot just slightly to kind of keep things under the presser foot flattened out. And just finish out that seam. As you approach to the other end, take the last pin out and off the end. It should be right as the fabrics kind of make a V. And as we open it out, we will have that nice, neat, curved piece filling in perfectly and changing places. If you'd like to see more of our Quilting Quickly tutorials, please visit our website. Thanks for joining me today.